Hello, and good time zone. And what is up, gamers? Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. I'm so tired. Y'all, it is the start of my week, and I'm already so tired. I was failing at being a comfortably awake person by like 2 this afternoon. I did attend a very nice lunch. I had lunch with some very nice people today. And it was 3 courses of lunch, which was lovely and delicious, and I'm very grateful to have been able to go and see said people. But I'm not used to eating that much food all at once in the middle of the day, and I'm so sleepy. And also, there were some ingredients in that lunch that I probably really shouldn't have eaten, but I also don't like to be like, hey, these are all the ingredients I can't eat, make me a special meal. So I just ate a bit of them, and so yeah, I don't feel great today. But it is partially of my own making, so you know, that's just my social anxiety being a bother. Anyways, hello Turnip, thank you very much for the lurk. Hello Joe, welcome in. As you can see, I am a startled woodland creature today, because I think this encompasses how I'm feeling probably for the rest of the week quite well. So here we are. As you can see, also, I don't have a sketch right now because I hadn't decided what I wanted to paint today, because I didn't have time to. I honestly did not have time to think about it since like the last stream ended. Been very busy with some off-stream art projects, not products. Also, hello Joe. Did I say hello Joe? Welcome in, Joe. It's lovely to see you as well. Art projects that I couldn't do on stream. And so I'm trying to brainstorm something that would be at least maybe something fairly simple, fairly sketchy, that will work as kind of a test. It doesn't need to be a good piece of art. It just needs to be like a test for my frog and toad palette. I still feel like this red in particular is a little too, but maybe if we just look at this red in isolation, actually it is pretty brown, I think. But this is the number of iterations that the red went through. This is the number of iterations that this orange went through to get an appropriately brownish orange, which I'm actually not surprised that it changed the least, because the orange is closest in terms of like tone and stuff to the anchor color that we mixed into all of these, which was raw umber up here. So that's actually not that surprising. I was surprised at how much this yellow changed, because it's like fluorescent and I was expecting it to kind of resist more, but no, it just immediately turned into a beautiful sort of yellow ochre, which I'm very happy with. Green, oh, this is a perfect green. Blue we're using French ultramarine as the mix-in, which is the only reason that you can actually see that there's blue in this, because it granulates out and gives us this nice sort of like blue texture to an otherwise unblue color. And I actually made the purple a little bit more purple from what I initially mixed it into, because I felt like that was just brown, and I wanted it to be a little bit demonstrably purple. It's just a little bit demonstrably purple. So yeah, if you missed it last time, we did some very bad paint science, as you can see. I ended up having to throw any of my sort of methodology out the window by the end of it and just do what I could, because I'd run out of the tube of paint that I was mixing into all of these. I ran out of it, because I was having to add so much of it to this red to get it to look anything other than this extremely vibrant red, that I ran out, and I ended up having to use a tube of a slightly different paint, but that is the same color, so like it's fine. But it might ultimately have a bit of an effect on the texture, and possibly also the transparency of some of these colors, which is fine. Again, this is what it is. This is this palette, and because of the unique way in which it was made, it will never be made again. Also, because it only took one step to get the brown that looked correct, I have significantly less brown and black than any other color. And I have just a frankly insane amount of red. That being said, wow, the amount of moisture lost in drying this out. This was like overflowing previously. Absolutely overflowing. And now it is like deeply recessed. Like I am dipping my fingy right in here. Also, it is still slightly, it's not wet, but it's still sticky. I think it's been very damp here for the last couple of weeks, honestly. So yeah. Anyways, Joe says it's giving autumn cozy leaves. Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean those those pots are giving mystical bookshop, also delightful. Oh man. Yeah. So I'm going to try and knock up like a fairly simple sketch with not too much detail, but something where I can at least incorporate like a number of different colors, hopefully, by the time I'm finished rambling at you. But yeah, I like the sound of leaves and also bookshop, but oh man, I don't think I can do bookshelves because that's gonna take so long. So I think I might do something a little bit more abstract or just a little bit simpler than that. I also considered, like, because I didn't have time to do a sketch, I was like, what if I just honestly, okay, this is Star Trek fan art. This is a Star Trek fan art. And to be honest, it is kind of giving Frog and Toad vibes, which is I named this color palette the Frog and Toad palette because it is very sort of like green and brown centric, you know what I mean? Though to be honest, looking at them in this row, this rainbow looks very vibrant, but considering the fact that the original rainbow looked like this, it's not very vibrant, actually. It's very not. I kind of wish it was less vibrant in places, but it'll do. Dan says, did someone say bookshelves? I mean, we did, but anyways, I did draw this, which is a very Frog and Toad vibe, but it is also Star Trek fan art. And I don't want to bother y'all with Star Trek fan art on stream. This sketch has been hanging around for a while because someone was like, "Hey, have you ever drawn Jake and Nog?" And I was like, "The two little boys from my favorite show?" No. So I drew them going on a little fishing adventure. Noggles here is reading a book, and Jake is trying to catch a fish. I mean, it's like they're in like a holodeck because it's in space, but you know, it's still vibes. Anyways, but yeah. Anyways, Dan, hello. Dan says, I'm here to be baptized in the warm gravy of your content. Oh boy. Okay. I don't know what to do with that statement, except to say that I did actually have gravy for dinner last night. We had, there are frozen Yorkshire puddings you can get that are made out of, Kelch-safe flours, and, so we had that for dinner with, like, a single vegetarian sausage and a whole bunch of frozen peas. Cause yeah, sounds sticky, says Joe. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, these paints are also sticky. So, like, valid. And I guess I did kind of have, like, a kind of gravy for lunch as well, because I had a curry. It was nice. Anyways. It's like curry sauce with some rice and salad. Anywho. And an amount of custard that I probably should have taken a lactase pill with, and I have been feeling queasy and unsettled, so I paid for that. Anyways, in case you're concerned, this is oat milk. Oats are fine. I can have as many oats as I want, within reason. Anyways, this is the right place for that, isn't it? I don't listen. We don't do baptisms. I don't. It turns out that Turns out that there isn't a stream category for that here, live baptisms. Actually, I don't know. Is there like, what Twitch stream category would encompass live baptisms over the internet? Like, I'm not gonna do it, but but what would that be? Anyways, Sorry for the coughing. That's probably going to persist because, again, I'm not feeling very well today. But don't die, please. IRL maybe. Jenga, hi, welcome in. Welcome to the worst, most chaotic stream ever. It's lovely to see you. Hello, hello. Hope you're having a lovely time. Hope you have a lovely lurk. Happy time zone to you too. Don't die, please, says Joe. You know what? One of my... when I put my to-do list together first thing in the morning, and every time I wake up, I make myself a little to-do list first thing in the morning, and the first thing that I put on my to-do list first thing in the morning is number 1, try not to die. Number 2, do your best. That's it. That's the list. Everything else is a happy surprise. Anyways. Ooh, Jenga says you're on the big screen, so I can spread out and work. Nice! I feel suddenly very shy. Oh, beans. But thank you. Anyway, sounds good, says Joe. Hell yeah. Q2 says, OMG, it's Sammy the White-Nosed Reindeer. Oh, little boy. You know what? If there's one thing missing from this portrait, this PNG tuber, it's how red my nose is in real life. But hi, welcome in, and thank you for the hydrate. I'm going to take a sip of this, which is a lemon and ginger tea. Hopefully the ginger does more healing to my system than the lemon does damage. I don't actually know how well they balance themselves out. Likewise, hopefully the turmeric in this does more healing to my system than the cocoa does damage. I'm treading a delicate balance. That's what I'm trying to say. You could put a red clown nose on top in OBS. That's cute. Oh my god. Hope you have a lovely day. Thank you. You know, that's a fair point. I could attempt to do that. I don't know how... Hold on. Wait for it. This is gonna take me like a solid 5 minutes, and the bit is not gonna be worth it. But, I can conceivably hold please. You'll see what I'm about to do and why it was absolutely not worth the effort in just a moment. Can I just have... Yeah, can I just have a nice... Okay. It's like, that's a good color. Okay, this is incredibly stupid. I wish I could show you what I'm doing, but I don't know how to. You'll just have to take my word for it that things are happening. Probably everyone's left because you're watching me do literally nothing. But anyways, how's everyone been? How are your weekends? What'd you get up to this weekend? I hope you had fun times this weekend. I hope your weekends were good. My weekend was, it was fine. It was a bit sort of off, just because we had some changes of schedule. But it was alright. Anyways, that would be the opposite. Turmeric does not agree with me, whereas chocolate is healing, says Joe. Wild. Absolutely wild. Sammy's dedication for a bit is unmatched, says Q2 as well. Just, I did good things both this weekend and today. Nice. I hope they were very, very fun. Okay, we're, okay, image source. Go. Almost there, everyone. Just one more second. Also, I have no idea how... Oh, that's much too big. Hold up. That's a respectable size, I think. Let me just, How's that? Yay! Yippee! We did it! Okay. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? I might toggle that on and off from time to time just for funsies, but I'm kind of into it. You know, oh my god, you know what it makes me look like? Do y'all remember the big comfy couch? I feel like I look like the little puppet from the big comfy couch now. I'm probably misremembering what she looks like. Molly. Now I have to look up what she looks like to see whether or not I'm right. For anyone who doesn't know, it was a children's show. Yeah! Oh no! Well, I'm now Molly from the big comfy couch! Oh, jeez. I mean, there are worse characters to be. Molly's delightful. But, let me demonstrate. I'd argue it was worth it. This is cute too. Hell yeah, thank you. Okay, that's nothing. Hold up. My stream is so jank. I'm so sorry. It wouldn't auto-display because I had 2 unread notifications on Instagram instead of just 1. Thanks, computer. Why are you so stupid? Anyways, this is Molly from the Big Comfy Couch. This is Molly from TV's The Big Comfy Couch, which is a children's show from, like, I don't know, the early 90s, I guess, because I remember watching it, but I might have been slightly too old for it, but I might not have been. I have no idea. Anyways, but I did watch it. And so that's Molly from The Big Comfy Couch. And that's me. The difference being Molly did not speak, and I cannot be stopped from speaking. That's the difference. Though that being said, I cannot be stopped from speaking in situations where I am incredibly comfortable, like among my friends and peers on stream, whereas if you asked me to, say, ring up a doctor's office to make an appointment for a blood test, I'm like, and I have to repeat what I need to say in my head like several times before I ring, and then as soon as they're like, hello, this is the doctor's surgery, how can I help you? All of the words have fled my mind, and I'm like, blood, please? Can you test my blood? So, anyways. Q2 says it gives corporate needs you to find the difference between these 2 pictures. They're the same picture. Wow, that was not my intention at all with this look, but hey, you know what? Of all of the characters I could conceivably look exactly like, I am here for looking exactly like Molly Big Comfy Couch, because she is just a delightful person. She's just a little friend. And oh, what was the name of the human clown that was her friend? Lunette. That was it. Her name was Lunette. And that show was a silly time. Lunette had I can't remember if they were her neighbors or like her potentially relatives. Like, I think there was one character that was called like Granny, but I don't actually know if they were related or if she was just called Granny because she was meant to be an old lady. But she was like, Granny was like I think she was called Granny. I don't know. She had a Granny vibe to her, but she was like this colorful Eastern European lady who I loved. And then there was another guy who I think was always on rollerblades because it was, like 1990 and that's just what they did back then. There's this guy in my neighborhood who, like, when you live in a neighborhood long enough, you come to recognize, like, seeing, sort of the same stock people over and over again in, like, your local grocery store and, like, going down the road when you're on the bus, that kind of thing. And there's this one man, and I have never, no, that's not true. I have almost never seen him not, like, conveying himself on rollerblades. Like, going through the supermarket, he's on his rollerblades. And I remember there was this one time that he was just wearing, like, sandals. And I was so used to that person being, like, the rollerblades guy that I was like, what? What? Like, what? No! It felt very wrong and strange. Anyways. Oh, beans. Oh, heck. And indeed, beans. Maybe we just do, like, a fairly straightforward landscapey type deal. I feel like that could encompass, like, enough of these colors, probably? Question mark. also pretty easy for me to, like, improvise and stuff. Cool, okay. But yeah, I wonder, oh god, you know what? So, like I said, there are, like, certain, like, stock people that you see around your neighborhood, and you just, you know, when you don't know them personally, you've maybe never, like, talked, but you just see them often enough that you're like, oh man, that's the guy with the really deep booming voice who likes to get coffees on the weekends. You know, that's that lady with the dog that looks like a loaf of bread. And it gives me pause and concern that to someone else in the neighborhood, they see me and they're like, oh, hey, there's that terrifying gremlin with the husband who must be a very good person to be with somebody like that. A very patient man. I'm going to be honest with you. I do not want to know what other people think of me, because I learned very recently that what other people think of me is often quite negative and terrible. They just don't normally say it. Q2 says redeemed hydrate. Thank you very much. I'm going to do that. Sweetened with maple syrup. Just like me. Maple syrup runs through my veins because I'm a Canadian. You are both terrifying gremlins, says Joe. I love you both dearly. We love you too. Hey. But yeah, I had an experience the other day where, now, I feel like the YouTube, you might have seen me talk about this on Blue Sky, but I feel like the YouTube comments section has a real, like, reputation for being a cesspit of toxicity and horribleness. But in my experience, a lot of the time, the YouTube comment section is, like, pretty nice and chill. It just depends on, you know, the channel you're commenting on, because there are a lot of YouTube videos where, you know, like, especially, like, smaller channels, you know, if the YouTuber has asked a question and the video has gone up within sort of like a day of my seeing it, and I know the answer to the question that they're pondering, I'll just be like, hey, I will just drop into the comments and be like, here's the thing you were wondering about. I know about this because blah blah blah, and then I'll just, you know, inform them, or, you know, that kind of thing. Or, oh, there was a video I was watching the other day where someone was lamenting that they have a whole bunch of like, books that maybe they've read but they didn't particularly, like, vibe with, so they wanted to donate them to, like, a charity shop or something, but they don't have any good charity shops in their area because they've recently moved. And so they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with these books. I'll probably just sell them to, like, the used bookstore. And because I have personal experience of this, I was like, you might want to check with your local library, because I worked in a library for many, many years, and I'm familiar with the fact that libraries oftentimes are very happy to accept donations, especially of, like, perfect condition recently published books, because those go like hotcakes, and any given book has a shelf life of a certain number of boros before it just becomes, like, falling apart beyond repair. And you get through a lot of those with new releases a lot of the time. So, and because of the demand of new releases, it's often a really, really good idea to have, like, dozens of copies of them. You might eventually sell some of those off as, like, you know, discarded used books, because the demand has declined significantly. But in the first instance, when something's new, it's really, really useful to have, like, a ton of copies of it to circulate. So, but genuinely, like, most donations are welcome by public libraries. Public libraries, as you know, are things that, like, oh, biddle boy, councils with no budget and governments with no budget love to not particularly fund well. And public libraries are such an important resource for a thriving community. So even if they don't find a use for the books that you've given to them, like putting them into circulation, most public libraries will run, like, book sales where you can get, you know, just like a copy of this semi-recent novel for, like, under $1. you know, or you might be able to get like a mystery grab bag of 6 books in a specific genre and take them to the beach and, you know, just see what you get. Some of them you might hate, but hey, you paid a pittance for them, so like who cares? Just put them back into the secondhand circulation at that point. Um but yeah, and you know what I was met with when I made that comment? Nothing but positivity. People were like, "Yeah, the local library in my area does this and it's great." Yada yada yada. Anyways, a very positive experience. The reason I bring this up is that subsequent to this, I saw a video by a channel that I see pop up occasionally. They're a very small channel. I think they have under 1,000 subscribers. And you know, they get like a couple hundred views on their videos, but I think that they do some pretty interesting stuff. And it's specifically to do with linguistics, so I wanted to support them. So I watched this video and I made a comment specifically about something to do with the fact that not just me, but I was like theorizing about if I ever had because I have a Canadian accent and I live in the UK and my partner has an English accent. What sort of accent, if we were to ever have a child, like what sort of mangled transatlantic accent our child would have as a consequence. And the answer is likely that our child would probably have some weird pronunciations in between mine and my spouse, until they go to school. And then after a fairly brief period of being a student in a class of kids who, you know, all sound like they come from whatever area we're in at that point in probably England, they just end up sounding like their peers, which makes sense and I think is very, very normal. But I'd thought about that, and this video brought it up, and then I was like, but wait a second. Like, I live in the United Kingdom. I've lived here for 10 plus years, and to be honest, my accent has changed also. It's not a conscious thing, but like, I can see and hear where there are certain intonations, certain turns of phrase, certain pronunciations that are a little bit further from like a native Canadian accent and a little bit closer to some manner of Englishness. Which obviously is a fairly broad range, but bearing in mind I live in Oxfordshire, so make of that what you will. Anyways, but someone responded to my comment and was like, I bet you're the kind of fake who spent 1 week in London and now says fish fingers and maths and something else. And I'm like, bruh, I said I've lived here for over 10 years. I call them fish fingers because that's what they're called in my local supermarket. Anyways, my point being, I think I was the target of some anti-immigrant sentiment. Because that guy was real mean, and also 100% thinks that he owned me, which is really funny because that person was incredibly stupid. What else would they be called? Genuine question, asks Joe. In parts of, sometimes in Canada you would see them as fish sticks rather than fish fingers, which is just isn't as whimsical. Like when I told this to Sledge yesterday, Twitch user Sledge Callier, my moderator / spouse, he was like, that's not nearly as much fun. Where's the whimsy in fish sticks? And I completely agree. But nevertheless, if I were to say to a British person, like, you know, oh, what are you having for dinner tonight? Fish sticks. Would you immediately know what I mean? Or would you sort of give me that sort of like double take where your brain has to do a little extra computing to extrapolate that I mean fish fingers? Or would you just not know that fish sticks are fish fingers? Which is very possible, because why would you? You call them fish fingers. I live here, so I call them the thing that everybody else does. Because otherwise I'm just confusing people and making it harder to communicate. It makes sense to facilitate communication by using the terminology that is employed by the locals. Technically, we are speaking the same language, but, like, the vocabulary has differences. There's a different dialect going on here. A lot of the differences are fairly subtle, but they exist. You know, like, things that I noticed, something that I saw pointed out recently is that, here in the UK, we use the word zero way less often than they do in North America. Also, I notice a lot of sort of like when you would use it's not versus it isn't. Also an interesting thing. But anyways, I could infer, but it would take a moment, says Joe. Dan says, yes, I have heard of fish sticks. Oh, cool, interesting. Doesn't sound as fun, genuinely, says Joe. Right? Anyways, but I just thought that was just such a rude and uncool thing to, like, fixate and comment upon, number one. You know, I'm not particularly bothered, and I also reported that guy for hateful speech, because that was honestly pretty anti-immigrant of him. They'll probably do nothing about it because, you know, it's a comment section on the internet. The moderation is not good. But that being said, what that got me thinking about, more so than, oh, woe is me, like, some dipshit hurt my feelings. My feelings are not hurt by this. I'm just annoyed. But what really actually bothers me about the whole exchange is that it should have been nipped right in the bud by the YouTuber. Now I get that probably comment moderation is harder to maintain as like someone who has a very large channel who gets thousands of comments on any given video. Personally, I would probably have like a moderator that I just pay an amount of money to like monitor my comment section for me and take out any egregious toxicity, if I'm being perfectly honest. And part of the reason for that is that, like, I don't really think that there's a good reason to allow that to exist in your comment section as a creator. Django says, you're so much nicer than me. I would have responded with, I bet you're the sort of guy that retweets an Elon Musk tweet and suddenly thinks they know all the intricacies of American politics. See, I wish I could be badass in my comebacks, but I'm baby. I'm just like, no, you're deliberately misunderstanding me. So I'm going to stop talking to you. And then I stop talking to them. But, like, I think that when I get very few comments on my YouTube channel, partially because I haven't posted in many, many months. But here it is, in case you're curious. I get very few comments on my YouTube channel. And almost all of the comments that I get are, you know, like, largely from people I know, occasionally from strangers, and usually, like, complimentary or, you know, a comment on the content in some way that's you know, like, not particularly negative. But if I do get anything that's, like, deeply uncool, you know, like if someone came into my comments and was like, we should be more like the 19th century, back in the good old days before women had rights, I would just nuke that straight away. I don't need to make a zingy comeback. I don't need to engage with it at all. That just gets deleted. You know, if someone comments on one of my YouTube videos and says something like, I don't know, my favorite steamed pudding is golden syrup, and someone, you know, says something really insulting to them, like calls them a slur for liking golden syrup pudding more than, I don't know, the spotted dick pudding. I'm deleting that comment. I'm deleting the crap out of that comment, and I'm reporting that user, because I don't want people who come into my comment section to have, like, a pleasant dialogue, even if we disagree with each other on our favorite steamed pudding. You know, I want them to feel like it's gonna be a welcoming environment where people are respectful of one another. And I think that sometimes creators think that, like, either they don't care, which makes me feel very bad, or they think that, like, I need to leave all of the comments, even the bad ones, because numby go up when there are more comments. So if people are fighting in my comments, the number's bigger, and that's good for the engagement, that's good for the algorithm. And I just want to tell you, no! It's bad for your growth as a creator to allow, like, that kind of, like, toxicity and that kind of garbage. Because what you're saying is, like, that kind of behavior is welcome here, and that's going to drive away people who just want to be pleasant and respectful. You know? That's going to make the people that you actually want to be part of your community to feel uncomfortable and not want to hang around. It's not, you know, like, that's bad, actually. That's really bad. You know, like, same goes for Twitch. If someone came into my Twitch channel, for instance, and was a really, you know, oh, they gave me a follow, they gave me a sub, they were a really active chatter, but they were just, like, hate speeching it up and trying to start fights with everybody else and being super insulting to me, guess what? I banned them. Doesn't matter if they're giving me a view number and some ad revenue. Like, that is effectively driving away the nice, chill people that I want to hang out with on my stream. So why would I allow that behavior just because they are gracing me with their presence as a viewer? No, no, no. No, fuck that. You don't do that. Pardon my French. Exclamation mark language to me. But it's much healthier as a creator to just fully, like, shut down any kind of, like, that's not to say that, like, you know, well, respectful, like, disagreement or respectful critique is never allowed. 100% it is. But there's a difference between, you know, I don't know, somebody being like, hey, this video is really good, but I noticed that, like, the audio was weirdly quiet in places. And I'm not sure if that's something that you want to maybe look at for your next video. Like, that's, you know, that's being constructive. If someone just comes along and is like, your video sucks and I hope you get hit by a truck, like, no, go away. You are not welcome here. Anyways, so yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I've been rotating it in my mind after this encounter that just, like, you know, I don't really feel comfortable hanging out in that small YouTuber's channel anymore because they just let somebody be mean to me unchecked, and I don't think that's a good look. I don't think that's a good look. I think that's something that you can just, that you have control over as a creator. Anyways, Joe says, ooh, treacle, sponge, and custard, sugar hit, and nostalgia. Oh, hell yeah. I haven't had any kind of sponge pudding in, it's been over a year, I think. Because I'd have to make it from scratch. And I ain't done that. Trouble is, there are so many baked goods that I like making from scratch, and I shouldn't be eating baked goods that often. And also because, you know, like, we are a household of two, if I make a baked good, it's gonna get eaten by the two of us. And last year the doctor did say that I need to be mindful of my cholesterol. Thank you for the Hydrate Q2s. I have not had a sip in a wee while. I do appreciate it. So, like, I'm a little bit, you know, I can't just be baking something every week willy-nilly. Because I can't eat that much. I can't do it. But yeah. Anyways. So that was what's been on my mind. I understand if anyone is not present on today's stream watch along, because they're watching Defunctland's 4.5-hour video on the history of animatronics at Disney. Oh my god. Like, that dropped into my awareness earlier today, and I was like, well, it really is a shame that I had things to get done today. I have not watched most of it. I think I've seen, like, the first 20 minutes, and then I had to actually go do stuff. But, animatronics are weird. They've kind of always freaked me out. I don't know about anybody else, but I've always been quite freaked out by animatronics. There's something just kind of, like, just uncanny about them. You know, especially if you've ever seen an animatronic that's honestly kind of seen better days. And it's looking a little bit worse for wear. Ooh. I don't know, something about that makes me feel uncomfy. Even, like, even like Teddy Ruxpin. I don't know if Teddy Ruxpin is in the ballpark. If anyone remembers Teddy Ruxpin, which is like a little plush teddy bear, but he wasn't like a cuddly teddy bear because he had like inside his body was a tape player, and you'd put a tape inside him through like the back of his shirt, and then he would like Hey, well, John, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Hello, hello. I hope you're having a lovely Monday. But yeah, anyways, Teddy Ruxpin. You'd put a tape in the back of him, and then you would play the tape, and he would speak to you and tell you a story, and he would like his mouth would move like he was talking, and he'd blink and that kind of thing. And it was supposed to be real, like, you know, cute and fun and magical and whimsical for a child, that like, oh my goodness, my teddy bear is talking to me, that's amazing. But in my experience of like the other children that I knew who owned one of these, they would just like they would just see what happens if you just put like, you know, an Iron Maiden tape into Teddy Ruxpin, and it's like, oh my god, he's singing a heavy metal song, you know, like, it's, oh, and it was like weird, and it just felt, I don't know, like, I know that he's not alive, but it's just uncanny enough that it just feels like you're hurting him, and I found it very upsetting as a small child. I can't believe no one ever had me, like, assessed for anything. Anyways, so yeah, that was that. But yeah, I never did go, okay, no, that's not true. I did go to a Chuck E. Cheese once. I went to a Chuck E. Cheese once. At like, I was like 18 or 19 years old. And, oh yeah, okay, so I was 18 years old. My best friend was 17 years old at the time, and we were with a friend of ours who was like 19 or 20. And we all went to Chuck E. Cheese. In like the university town where he was a student, just to like eat the pizza and do some silly arcade games as a fun afternoon activity, right? That's absolutely reasonable, says Evil John. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Also, I hope you're having a lovely Monday. But yeah, I don't think the animatronic band was not active at the time when we were in Chuck E. Cheese, because it was a very quiet time of day. And obviously, you know, we were like young adults. We were there ironically. But the wildest thing to me is that the hostess almost didn't let us in, because it turns out that if you're under 18, there needs to be a parent present for you to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And it was our 17-year-old friend, myself aged 18, and then our friend who was like 19 or 20. And she was like, technically you're not allowed to be here. She let us in anyways. But she was like, and we did have to show our IDs in order to get in to eat pizza, which was not very good, and play some arcade games, and generally just have like a wholesome, silly time. You know, you play all these games, you spend a butt ton of money, you collect a whole bunch of tickets, and then it turns out you have enough tickets for like a pencil or a stick of gum. It's a time. Anyways, I say this as someone who, for a number of years, my moderator / spouse's family, we would all, you know, the family-in-law who live overseas would come visit for a couple weeks in the summer, and for 1 week we would all go to stay at like one of those like camp parks, somewhere down, you know, sort of on the coast. And those camp parks always had, there usually wasn't that much to do sort of in the surrounding area besides like the beach. So my moderator / spouse and I, being the members of the family who didn't bring their own like vehicle, would often spend a lot of time in like the little arcades, just shoving 2p coins into like the 2p machines, trying to get terrible like little gifties. That's how we got the, wherever they've gone, I think they're in the other room again, but the our like knockoff Pokemons, the Snorlax and Bulbasaur. Yeah. Anyways, the time we won knockoff Batman on our very last go, on the very last day, as, like, we were packing up to leave, and we won this little, like, fake Batman figurine who's so janky that he's just charming, and I named him Botman, because he's not quite Batman, and I love him so much. Anyways. I still don't know what I'm drawing. I'm pouring through my photo album, like my photo reel, for inspiration, in the hopes that I might have something in here that is like, yeah, I could draw something like that. That's that photo I took, literally. Though a lot of the things in my photo reel are like, oh, product photos from my latest shop update! ! Shop in the chat. I'm not going to do that. There's already a shop link in the chat. Just where's somewhere that I've been recently that was relatively picture skew? I don't know. I think the last interesting place I visited was probably the Netherlands, unless you count Central Oxford, but it was raining when I was there today, so yuck. Oh, I could do something kind of inspired by this photo of the park. I was trying to take a photo of a single magpie in this park, but I didn't want to get any closer to it, so it's very tiny and extremely out of focus. But, like, you know, it's a nice cluster of trees. I could do something like that. I don't know. Anyways. That was when things were looking, like, exceptionally autumnal. Like, get a load of these leaves. So stinking pretty. The leaves are all gone now, obviously. It's just gray and wet and kind of depressing. But that's okay, too. So it goes. Such is weather. We've got to have the weather that feels a little bit sad in order to appreciate the weather that makes us feel real good, I reckon. Also, I have a lot of frog and toad saved because I love a good frog and toad situation. Esonic Man says, and I quote, "Did you hear about my bed sheets being stolen? I tried to call the insurance company, but they said I wasn't covered." Thank you. That was beautiful. I love it. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Thank you for that. Delightful. I feel like I've been drawing a lot of, like, little cottages in the woods somewhere, and I feel like that would work really well for this color scheme, but I, like, just did that. So, do I want to do that again? I kind of want to do some, I kind of want to insert some little, but I don't feel like drawing, like, full-on, like, characters, like Jake and Nog here. But I could do something with some little guys just kind of hanging out off in the distance or something, perhaps. In fact, I think that might be what I do. I was thinking possibly, you know, like, normally I don't really like drawing railway stations that I haven't been to, but I love the idea of, like, instead of just a very sort of urban-based railway station, like a railway station that is out just, like, in the middle of the countryside, because there are some railway stations that are very out in the middle of the countryside. I might do one that's not any specific, railway station that actually exists in real life, but, like, something just kind of inspired by railway stations, what are real cute, maybe? I don't know. I think that could work. Is that another hydrate Q2s? I mean, I will have a sip it. Are you doing anything for Christmas? Asks, Isonic Man. I am. Well, number one, I am. Number two, thank you for the hydrate Q2s. Number two, I am visiting my in-laws. I'm going to be going to their home in another bit of the country for a couple of days. We're going to be seeing, hopefully, all of the members of the family-in-law, notwithstanding the dog who is staying in Japan. But should be seeing my sister-in-law and her husband and niece and hopefully nephew. But he also has a part-time job. And when you have a part-time job and it's the Christmas season, they really like making you work all of them days, it turns out. But hopefully we'll get to see him. Hopefully he arrives before we have to leave. But we, yeah, I'm going to be doing some baking, obviously. I'm planning on making some jam thumbprint biscuits. I might be attempting to make some mézes pogácsa, which is a type of Hungarian honey cookie, which it was one of my grandmother's signature bakes. And, I mean, mine will never be as good as hers are, but I can try, and I would like to continue to try. I'm not sure what else I'm baking this year. Don't know. It's tough trying to, like, come up with, A, things that I want to make and that I personally like, and B, things that are also, like, crowd pleasers when I know that, like, there are people in my family-in-law who, for instance, like, there's one person who really doesn't like cinnamon, so I don't want to do anything that's too terribly cinnamony, that kind of thing. So, but that's my plan, is just bake and spend some time with people I love. But how about y'all? Do y'all have any plans for the holidays? Do let me know whilst we're on BRB, and we'll come back and talk about it when the ads are over. I'll be back in just a minute. You're not going to miss anything because it's on the BRB screen, but I'll see you very shortly. Hey, we're back. Hello, welcome back, everybody. Hello. Hi, Tals. Tals says hello, BRB screen. The BRB screen says farewell for now, but I say hello. Hi. And welcome to a blank sheet of paper. But I've got a pencil in hand, and I've got some thinky thoughts and some percolating ideas now, so I think I'm going to pencil something in, and we're going to try and give it a go. How's that sound? I've had some thoughts, and I think I know more or less what I want to do with them, so I'm just going to put a nice round sort of hilly situation here, and then gonna have a nice sort of taller hill coming up from there. And do I want another hill? Do you want another hill? Ooh, new PNG tuber says Tals. Hell yeah. I'm feeling cold and confused, so it felt like a good time to bring out the startled looking woodland creature. I also do have an optional red nose, depending on how red my nose is feeling at the time. Because then I'm looking a little bit reindeer-y. Is it giving reindeer or is it giving clown? Or both. I honestly don't know, so do let me know, chat. Is it giving reindeer or is it giving clown? I'm gonna put up a poll. New poll. Okie dokie. I'm gonna run this for 3 minutes. There you go. Anyways, what is it giving? Reindeer or clown? No, that's the wrong window. There I am. Okay, hello. Vote early, vote often, says Styles. Vote at all. Otherwise I'll feel really embarrassed. Anyways, I often feel like I look clown-esque in my real life, in as much as I have the standard like trouser that I wear is this very like relaxed fit but tapered leg trouser that comes all the way up to the waist but then is quite like baggy. But because I'm like 5 feet tall, I have fairly short legs, so instead of looking, you know, just kind of like cool on me, it just makes me look incredibly sort of wide and baggy from the waist down. And I'm also not the thinnest of creatures, so I feel like it just ends up looking like clown trousers on me. Like, no matter what color they are, it's just like, you know, these are beige. These are beige trousers, and I look like a ding-dang clown. It's delightful. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way, but, you know, here we are. They're also very grandpa trousers because they come right up to my natural waist and sit comfortably on my natural waist. I don't like things that sit lower than my natural waist because that ends up also making me look baggy and wide, and I'm already pretty spherical, so, you know, anyways. Still time to cast your votes. Is it reindeer or is it clown? It's all good. Anyways, yeah, I wanted to, I've had a thinky thought as to what I wanted to draw. It is kind of, it's not exactly fan art-y, but I'm thinking of Anne of Green Gables. In as much as I'm gonna draw like a little farmhouse up here and have like some you know, feral girls sort of running around on this hill basically. And then some landscape. I don't know. Anyways, and for the win, says Joe. Hell yeah, hell yeah. I don't think I'm gonna make it officially Anne fan art because I don't know how protective they are of that IP, but I feel like they kind of really are. So I'll just do some ladies, just some generic late 19th century ladies named Nan and Guyana. Yeah, that works. Anyways, it's my mom's name and her favorite book, says Joe. Hell yeah. I went through a very intense Anne of Green Gables enjoyer phase as like a third grader. It just captured my imagination super hard, and I was like, oh man, this is the best thing I've ever read in my life. Which I think says things about me. Anyways, but yeah, I see reindeer has won, so yippee! I'm coasting towards seasonal appropriateness if the adverts are anything to go by. I did notice that the holiday market was active in the centre of Oxford, where I passed through today, but I did not stop to look because I was busy, and my moderator / spouse and I had resolved to go visit it together after work for him one day. And so I wanted to, you know, save that for the two of us to do together. But yeah, I think this is going to be unofficially not actually Anne of Green Gables art, because I don't know how hilly Prince Edward Island is, because I've never been to Prince Edward Island, but I don't think it's particularly hilly, and I wanted to make this piece a little bit hilly. I like just drawing in those little lumps. It gives me a nice guideline for what to draw where, which is great. But also, yeah, anyways. But it's more the vibe, but also not quite the vibe, because these colors aren't particularly Anne of Green Gables. These colors are Frog and Toad, but I'm not drawing a frog and a toad. I did think about doing some Terry the Forg Mage art, but I don't think this green is quite green enough. Terry is slightly greener than this green. So this isn't necessarily a Terry palette just because it's a Frog and Toad palette. I mean, Terry is frog adjacent. He is a Forg, but, you know, there's a difference between a frog and a Forg. Don't ask me what it is, and also don't ask Terry. He will just smile at you serenely and sip his tea. He's an enigmatic boy, and we love him. Let me place a Terry in the chat so you know of whence I speak if you haven't looked at my emotes. Here he is sipping his tea. Anywho, okay. So I'm going to draw a little guy. And little guy here being gender neutral, of course. Because I'm conceiving that this little creature is a lady. Anyways, not sure what I want to do with her hair. So I'll just kind of rough that in for the moment. And I'm going to try and put her into a sort of like I'm sprinting down the hill pose as you do. Maybe they're on their way to have a little picnic. They're off on some kind of adventure for sure. Like I know it. They're on some kind of they're off to do some adventuring, like 100%. How do I draw again? How do you draw? What is drawing? I don't know her. Anyways, let's get that. Did I make? I don't think I give her. Actually, no, it's fine. I don't normally do a lot of this on stream because it's a very long-winded and iterative process that is not necessarily the most interesting to watch me do, but hopefully that's fine. Hopefully you don't mind. Nice 1900s shirtwaist. Little boots. Well, that's a start. Is it janky as heck? Yes, but all of my little creatures are janky as heck. What would it be if they weren't janky as heck? That would be boring. I don't like what I've done with her hair, so I'm gonna do it again.
Attention!
Twitch user Sammy Kelch.
Shoppers.
Oh my goodness. That startled me so hard. Hello, Raiders. Hello. Welcome in. Scrappy, hello. It's wonderful to see you. How was your stream? You too. Thank you for the hydrate again. Thank you. Scrappy, how was your stream?
Attention!
Oh my
Twitch
god!
user
What?
Sammy Kelch.
Shoppers.
Sammy, and hello. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Welcome on in. Hello. Literally within a minute each of each other. That's wild. Hello. Anyways, double rainbow. What does it mean? I'm trying not to die. Hi everyone. Welcome in. Let me get a shout out for Scrappy. Scrappy, how was your stream? What did you get up to today? Sammy Ann, how was your stream? What did you get up to today? Can I do 2 shout outs at once? I think I maybe can. Anyways, if you're not following Scrappy Jane and you're not following Sammy Ann Art, or if you're following one and not the other, you can go correct this right now, and you should do that. Scrappy and Sammy Ann, both of you, as always. This is a art tax optional stream, but as raiders, you do have the privilege of sharing something with the class. If you would like to whisper me a link to what you were working on recently, if you were working on something on stream, or there's something on your socials that you want to share, I would very much love to share it, but only if you want to, and you're feeling in the mood. If you just want to chill, or go decompress, or whatever, you just don't feel like, it's fine. Basically. That's my point. Either is fine. But hello. I did Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Ooh, fun. I've wanted to mess with a game like that for so long. It looks like such a good time. And raise dots for Cancer Research UK. Hell yeah, we love to see it. We love to see it. Cancer sucks butt. And I very much appreciate any and all funding that may go towards, like, prevention, treatment, care, and support for people experiencing it. As someone who's had not personal experiences, but experiences of multiple family members at this point, yeah, it means a lot. So that means a lot, and that's really special. Thank you so much for doing that, Scrappy. That's wonderful. Sammy says we were working on a BRB stream ending screen. Ooh, hell yeah. Nice. Nice. Love to see a bit of quality stream branding. Unlike my BRB screen, which is in desperate need of a refresh. But yes, as always, to both of you, if there's anything that you do want to share, feel free to whisper a link in my whispers, and I would love to share with the class, but no pressure. As for me, For anyone who's new here, hello, welcome in. I usually have somewhat more comprehensive sketches than this, but I've been very tired. My name's Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do art streams on Mondays and Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays, and every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra spicy. Today, I am testing out my new Frog and Toad art palette. And I didn't know what to draw, so I'm attempting to improvise something right now because literally all I have, like, pre-sketched is Star Trek fan art. So, yeah. Anyways. Scrappy sent in some art tags because I actually broke through my art block a bit last month. Hell yeah, we love to see it. Awesome. Sammy Ann is going to suggest some Instagram viewing. Gonna run for some lunch as today's in a bit of rush. Absolutely. Have a lovely, lovely lunch. And thank you. Again, let me get another shout out for you in the chat. Before you run away. There you go. And have a wonderful lunch, and we will do both of these things. Let me do a little finagling in the background for Edith in a moment. While I grab the linkies and get them all loaded up and ready to look at. I can't believe how much my PNG tuber looks like Molly from the Big Comfy Couch. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, that's no bad thing, because Molly from the Big Comfy Couch is adorable, but still, oh my goodness. But then again, I did also literally make the reindeer / and we did vote as to whether or not it was a reindeer nose or a clown nose, and people have concluded that it's a reindeer nose. I did make that whilst live today. Because someone said that I looked like a reindeer. So anyways, grab the linkies. Tickles my funny bones, says Sammy, and glad to be of service. Yay, just got confirmed I'm walking Milo's friend Alfie with us this week, starting tomorrow, says Dan. Dan, congratulations! Congratulations! And please tell Alfie that I send, and Milo, that I send my regards and scritches or waves from a respectful distance, depending upon their preferences. That is wonderful and adorable, and I love it so much. Hell yeah. Okay. Okay, we have some Instagram linkies. So let's look at... Ooh! Oh! Oh, I recognize this. I know what this is. Oh, sweet. Okay, hello. Hopefully it works. This is from Scrappy, and this is super cool artwork, and oh my goodness. When I tell you that this reminds me of an experience that was the bane of my existence, because it is Undertale fan art, and I could not beat this fight. But that's super rad as heck. Swipe along to see the OG. Oh my god, that's so cool! That is so super cool. Made this piece in stream to honor the 10th anniversary of the game. Oh my god, it's been 10 years? This was 10 years ago I made the first version of the same illustration. That is so cool! That is really cool seeing the way that, like, your style has developed and stuff as well. That's rad as heck. That's rad as heck. If you haven't played Undertale, this very, very depicts the experience of this fight. Very beautiful work. Incredible. We love to see it. Thank you so much. And also, happy anniversary, Undertale. 10 whole years, says Scrappy Jane. Oh my god. Undertale, Overtale, Wombling Free, says Dan. Yes, I agree. Hello, Big Moth. Thank you, Scrappy. Thank you. I'm making heart hands at the camera as though you can see my hands. Anyways. Oh, Dan says he's a sweet boy, a big softie, and we'll see if he wants to come in and snuggle with us afterwards. Oh, hell yeah. Sam says, OMG, the memory kicks to the teeth. This is terrifying and lovely. Absolutely. But let's have a look at what Sammy Ann has been doing the artwork. How do you make big emotes, says Joe? I think it's a biddies thing. So thank you for that. Oh, hello! Hello. I have not been on Instagram enough because I have not seen this absolutely beautiful winter dragon. Hello, beautiful. Look how cute. I love how you've done the scale textures and how it's kind of got some like fluff. Like it's got like fluffy insulation, which is so cute. I love their beautiful eyes. I want to befriend them. This is so stinking cute. If you're not familiar with Sammy Ann's work, it is incredibly whimsical and sweet and very lovely, and I love this friend. I love when you do dragons. They're so good. So thank you for that. Also, I think I can do another shout out for Scrappy. Can I? There's a time limit on doing these things, but I shall try. There we go. Yes. Okay. So follow both of our raiders because they're both wonderful. Just posted an Elfie pic in the Discord, says Dan. Oh, thank you much. We'll post a link to the Discord as well for anyone who wants to join. Have a look at that. Because doggy. Anywho, if you want to know what my work looks like when it's not just 3 pencil lines on a piece of watercolor paper, I can attempt to illustrate. Here are some gnome husbands. I just posted this and said, gnome husbands, you agree. This is just a bunch of gnome husbands artwork. Here they are snuggled up under their signature patchwork blanket with some hot cocoa, feeling real cozy and snuggled down in their little house, their cozy little gnome cottage. Here they are, hanging around the campfire in the cozy winter woods, getting nice and warm. Maybe they'll toast some marshmallows. I don't know. And here they are walking through the woods with a little lantern to light their way, like a couple of real cuties. Yeah. Anyways. And most importantly of all, this is Fredward. Anyways. Why am I like this? I don't know. I also did this medieval hornet piece. If you're into Silk Song, I did this a while back. It was very fun to do. I'd like to do more pieces in this vein of sort of the medieval illuminated manuscript type thing, but I don't know of what yet. So it's just kind of, here it is in motion so you can see how sparkly the gold paint is, because it is very sparkly. And actually, I decided to, I've never done this before, but I'm actually doing hand illuminated prints in my art shop for that. Samuel, thank you very much for the big pixel illuminated horn. Thank you. Samuel says, Shaw! Thank you. Anyways, I hope you're all well. I hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. Thank you for the self-care checks. The self-care checks. Self-care? What did I say? I don't know. Self-care checks. Thank you, Joe. I am lengthening my spine. De-shrimp, please, they say. I'm trying my best. What do you mean? 3 lines on a piece of paper? We've been streaming nearly 90 minutes now. You must be nearly finished, right? No. It's been a bad day for Art Brain, if I'm being honest. So we might not get a lot more done. Anyway, Sammy is lurking, going out on the lovely gnome husbands and Fredward. Hell yeah. Thank you. Have a lovely lurk. Oh my goodness gracious. Heck. But anyways, yes, thank you all. And also, I'm sorry that this is as much as I've gotten. Guess what? Guess what? That entire figure we drew is gone. It's gone. I wasn't feeling it. I feel like I can do better, so I've erased it. I've deleted my art, and I'm gonna start over, damn it. And I do apologize for that, because oh boy. I'm very aware that not a lot has gotten done today, so, okay. Let us try that again. I think I have a slightly better idea of what I want to do here. Because first of all, I think she's actually going to be holding on to her hat to keep it from flying out of the way. Because I think that would be fun. Because she's still running. I'm just giving her some slightly baggier sleeves, because this is in a vaguely historical fantasy setting, I think. Is what the vibe is more or less going to be. But, you know, in that way that, I'm not gonna put a specific era on it. It's just, it's whatever. Anyways. But hopefully it'll be cute, and that's the most important thing. My moderator / spouse just texted me, and oh no! So somebody is trying to wrap up for the day, and I don't know if you can see this. Don't worry, I've zoomed it in, so I'm not doxing his desk. If you can see that says, it's not wanting to focus very well, but it says updates are underway. Please keep your computer on. No! He's supposed to be coming home. Frowny face. So, oh dear. I'm gonna stick some cute little, like, stays on her, and then just some real poofy petticoats. So she can be going like, I'm running. I'm running. Oh no, that just looks deranged. This is the problem, that if you can't see any of her legs when she's running in the skirt, it kind of just looks like she might be like, her legs are like meh. Her legs are just like this rather than she's running. So getting that like I'm running posture with like big skirt in front of it is challenging. So what I might actually do is just presuppose that we can see a slip of ankle. And I know that there is this, like, stereotype that in olden days a glimpse of ankle was, scandalous. And I don't think that's true, actually. If anything, generally, if you look back to, like, images of, like, working, you know, like illustrations, that kind of thing, of working class women, especially, like, if you look at working class women in the 18th century, and this is the century that I am more, conversant in terms of fashion, but they would often wear their skirts, like, a good deal of inches shorter than, like, ground length, because it just wasn't practical to be walking around potentially muddy streets of, you know, sort of Europe, or, like, early sort of white people visiting North America, not visiting, but, like, colonizing, you know, to have those long skirts, because if you're, like, clomping around a farm all day, that's going to get really, really dirty, so you want it to be a couple of inches off the ground, so that, you know, it's not making a continuous mess. So, anyways, no, where's Sunshine? Sunshine is trapped behind computer updates and unable to leave his desk at the office. I'm so sad. Oh, good, updates, says Styles. They always make things better. My favorite. No. No. Okay, maybe if I bring this instead of the skirt out a bit, and we just have... And then we can kind of see doof. Just a little slip of ankle. So we can actually see, hopefully, that she's running. Anyways. But that'll do, I think. She's it still looks really janky. I'm maybe not, like, the greatest expert in the world in, like... One of the things that I find the most annoying, because, you know, like, obviously my artwork isn't intended to be photorealistic anyways, but I do have somewhat of a terrible time sometimes of, like... just really making it clear, like, fabric folds and that kind of thing. Fabric folds are a colossal pain in the backside as far as I'm concerned. But I've tried to create sort of a fold so that you can see that her knee's bent and she's sprinting, but it still looks really stupid. I have one other attempt to fix this. one other means of attempting to fix this. And that is actually just, we're moving the hill. We are amending the placement of the hill such that where her foot is pounding the pavement, metaphorically speaking, we can see that one foot is touching the ground and one is not. And I think that might be the little bit of help we need to actually make it look like she's running. Because she is. Now the hill is in extremely janky shape, and I'm going to want to redraw parts of that. But, not insurmountable, and I do think that has solved the problem of it's hard to tell that she's running, because you're not really going to be able to see the shadows underfoot, per se, in a meaningful way here, so I need to find another sort of shorthand for this lady is, this lady is sprinting. She's having a fun adventure. I also don't necessarily want it to have just in this one spot, like a weird, unnatural downward curve. So I'm trying to be very careful with the way that the curvature is curvating. Okay. We're getting there. Perhaps this was a better hill shape when it was just very, like, loose and poorly defined. But actually, I think that'll do okay. I think that's fine. I think we can be good with that. I think that'll do. But importantly, she's not the only person in this piece. We need her girlfriend, who will be following along, sort of, a little bit further behind, at somewhat more of a less frantic of a clip. But yes, since I've decided to put her in sort of a cottagecore 18th century look, she's got, I don't know if you can tell, but she's got her, like, she's got, like, her shift, and then she's got little stays on top of the shift, and then she's got her petticoats. She's got a little straw hat on to keep the sun off, and I've also given her a little fichu, just on sort of, like, her neck / upper chest, which is, very commonly worn. It's like a very fine fabric, sort of white neck scarf thing that you would wear just to keep the sun off of your, like, upper chest in that period. Oddly enough, like, if you see, I mean, if you see some of the things that were being worn in, like, the 17th, 18th centuries, they were not modest about, like, boubage and, like, cleavage and that kind of thing. If you see someone wearing, like, a neck scarf across their, like, upper chest, that kind of thing, it wasn't about, like, oh, you mustn't show your skin. It's indecent and immodest. And 100% for, like, we don't have sunscreen yet, and so we have to actually cover our skin if we're going to be outdoors a lot in order to avoid having sun damage. So yeah, big hats and neck scarves. Anyways. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I have to figure out what her. I'm having to invent new OCs now. I don't know who these characters are. I should give them names, but I don't know what their names should be either. Miss Froggington and Miss Toadsworth. No. Even though this is the Frog and Toad color palette, which I haven't even painted with it, and I'm already having a wonderful time with my Frog and Toad palette. I think it's gonna make for, I do really love these. I know I've talked about it quite a lot, but I do really love making these, like, unified color palettes, because I think that just as opposed to this, which is just like a rainbow of colors, to have this, which is just, I've added umber to all of them, and it's basically like slapping an Instagram filter on your paintings. it makes things look so much more like pulled together. I really want to do one where the like main like anchor color is yellow as well, like a yellow. I think that would be really nice. Maybe like there's a few yellows specifically from Daniel Smith paint that I've had my eye on that I think would make a really good palette like this. Or one of my favorite ones that I've done is the Lunar Red Rock palette, which is very like warm and cozy and wintry and autumnal and that kind of thing. Because it's a very sort of like deep brownish red that combines them all. And then I have one that I haven't found as much use for, but the color that brings it all together is cobalt turquoise, which is kind of wild because it's a very bright turquoise, but it makes for some very interesting color shifts. Pigeon says, "Ah, you look adorable. What little me? Why, thank you. Why, thank you very much indeed. I also do have a regular nose." That's better. I was getting a little bit snuffy. But, thank you. Okie dokie. Heck. So I'm gonna plop in should I put it over here? Where should I put, I feel like this is a little too far away. 2 noses, says Pigeon. Just a nose accessory. Just a nose accessory, which I did make during today's stream, because why not? But yeah, anyways, I feel like I should do a game stream soon. Maybe next week I'll do a game stream, I don't know. Anyways, sorry, that was apropos of nothing. I was just, my brain went there. I think my brain was thinking, what am I going to do this Thursday on stream? And I was like, oh, I should do a game stream soon. Do a little Game-fy Thursday. That might be fun. I haven't played Fields of Mystria in months. I was like obsessed with that for a while. Could do one on a Friday, says Dan. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. There's this new game that I've heard about called, I think it's called, oh, what's it called? Song Silk? Something like that? Silk music? Singing a song of silk? Something like that. It seems intriguing. I thought I might pick it up and see what it's like. I'm sorry. Yes. I think I will do one this Friday. I think we'll try that new indie game. Salk Sing, says Tulls. That's the one. Yeah, Salk Sing. That'll be a fun time. I'm so Cotton Shout, says Pigeon. Did someone say skong, says Samuel? I think they maybe did. That's what it's called, skong. I might play skong. Or Sulk Sing. Or Cotton Shout. Is that a music beat game, says Jenga? I think it maybe is. Which, like, listen, I don't think I'm going to be very good at. Which makes it even more fun. I'm, like, reasonably competent. Okay, here's how I am at rhythm games as far as I know. I'm reasonably competent at the little group exercise stretch session that you can do in Animal Crossing, where you play the little tape deck in the town square, and a whole bunch of villagers turn up, and you all do little stretches together. And you have to, like, press the A button in, you know, sort of on beat 4 times, you know, like, press the left thumbstick to the left twice, that kind of thing. It's very gentle. I also have the gazillion% do recommend if you like the music of Animal Crossing. The, where is it? I have the Nintendo Music app, which just, you can just play songs from Animal Crossing. It's delightful. Look, you can play 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Do they have stretching? Do they have the it's time to stretch music? I don't know. But, it's delightful. Anyways. I'm getting distracted. My attention is presently very deficient. I don't know if you can tell. So my attention is presently very deficient. Oh, biddle boy. Just trying to decide where I want to put this person. How can I want to test out various placements, but I don't want to just draw on my paper and then have to erase it. So I'm just going to use a little bundle. I'm going to use this little bundle of blue tack to just imagine, do I want a little person here? Or do I want a little person over here? Is that too far away? I think that's too far away. Because I'm going to be putting, like, a little farmhouse up here. So maybe if I put the person, like, here, it'll kind of balance things out better in that way. I think that's probably what I want to do. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do that. Yay! What's that? It's 6:25. I've been streaming for an hour and 45 minutes and I'm making a definitive decision about this painting. What could it be? Oh my goodness gracious. Can you imagine? Can you believe to learn? Now, this figure is something of a distance away from the other figure. Will I be able to draw them in more or less the same size? It remains to be seen. Drawing two things the same size twice is not my forte. Some might allege that drawing things is not my forte, but I do not let that stop me. Oh, pretzels. Okay, so... So this lady's got a little braid situation with her hair. Yeah, and I think she's just gonna be... Am I gonna have her in little, like, running stance, or is she just gonna be kind of like doot 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 doot? You can't see what I'm doing with my body as I say doot 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 doot. So it's hard to explain what I'm envisioning here. Also I feel like her torso is a weird shape, so I'm gonna redraw that a bit. Doop 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 doop. None of this works. You can't see what I'm doing because I deliberately do not have a webcam on because I look scrungly and I'm wearing my pajamas. I don't wish to be perceived this way. Pretzels. Anyways, also, I apologize if, Dudes sold separately, yep. I also do apologize profusely. If I seem distracted or weird. I have been having some unwellness for the last few weeks that I've been managing with Benadryl, which is not a good, like, long-term management solution by any stretch, but I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, so I have not taken any Benadryl, because if I go to the doctor's and I'm like, to be honest, I've been feeling fine for the last 2 weeks, and I don't know whether or not it's gone away on its own, or because I'm just Benadryling the hell out of myself. That's not super helpful. So I need to make sure that the symptoms are still there. So I haven't taken any Benadryls today, and I'm not going to take any Benadryls tonight or tomorrow morning, which means I may be in some measure of agony. Starting to feel uncomfortable already, so yippee! Anyways, it's affirmation time. I have taken out the affirmation deck of vampires and related spooky creatures that are fun and cute. And I'm going to give y'all an affirmation, and I'm going to try and be positive. I did once. I have a sticker in my shop, incidentally. There's a link to the shop in the chat. I have a sticker in my shop of this vampire bat that's shown up in a good amount of my artworks. In that sticker, he's drinking a little, like, Capri Sun of blood, and it's very important for me to note that the blood type of said Capri Sun of blood is B positive. Because he's just a positive little guy. And I thought it was cute. Anyways, I'm trying to shuffle this around as best as I can. I'm not very good at shuffling. I also don't want to do the kind of shuffling where you're like folding the cards and bending them and stuff, because these cards are really beautiful. They were made by an artist who did beautiful artwork for them, and I don't want the cards to get ruined, so I'm trying to keep them as nice as I can. Also, look, it's so holographic on the back. Isn't that rad? I want to make an affirmation deck of my own for us to use on stream one day, but that's a big undertaking, because look how many freaking cards there are here. That's a lot of artwork. Anyways, and I wouldn't be able to sell it because I don't think my audience is large enough to justify the sale of such a thing, because this kind of thing is very expensive to produce. But let's see what we get as far as affirmationist goes. Hell yeah! Would you please come into focus? I feel like this webcam is really having a problem with auto-focusing. Focus. Look at my hand. Look at my hand. Look at my hand and come into focus. Please. Please focus. My hand is here. Has any of the stream been in focus? I feel like it hasn't been. But if I try to set things like manual exposure and manual focus, it goes to like 2 frames a minute, and it's very hard to watch. So it's a trade-off of annoying issues. Anyways, it says, let the problems fear you, and here's a fearsome vampire being real spooky. I would be afraid of her if I were my problems. So she's doing a very good job. But yeah. Anyways, let the problems fear you. Yes. You are a big scary vampire. The problems cower at your very presence. That's your affirmation for today. You got this. You got this. Anywho, just like I got this, was supposed to be a very simple painting. And as always, things get away from me a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. What would life be if my artwork didn't get away from me a little bit? I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna do something real simple, and then it's just a whole ass entire scene. What would my life be if that didn't happen to me? I mean, come on. Anyways, I feel okay. I need to express this. I'm sorry, I'm just like going off on like every possible tangent today. But I need to express this in a way that doesn't make me seem like a hypocrite. And that's that I really dislike what I've seen of the upcoming Wuthering Heights movie. And I say, does this make me seem like a hypocrite? Because there's a lot of costuming that I've seen from the, from like the trailer and the photos that have been released of the upcoming Wuthering Heights movie. I mean, also it's described in the trailer of like the greatest love story of all time, and it's like, have you read Wuthering Heights? Because I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true at all. But there's a lot of costuming that we've seen in like the trailer and the photos that are obviously like anachronistic design choices. And I, like glass houses with regard to anachronistic design choices, because there are other pieces of media where they make anachronistic design choices with like the costuming that I think do a really good job. And it's like artistic and effective and adds to the overall sort of fantasy of the piece. I'm thinking specifically of Our Flag Means Death, for instance. I think they do a really good job with the costuming on that program. It is in no way is it 100% historically accurate. It's pretty good in some places, but then they don't have a character wearing Crocs on an 18th century, like pirate ship, thinking that like, oh, that people wore Crocs back then. No, they did that specifically and very deliberately. And I do appreciate pieces, sort of like period pieces that will put anachronistic design elements in to really just not just because I think sometimes they do it, I think because they think that like if we give people historic looking hairstyles or fashion entirely and don't modify it in some way, that modern audiences are going to connect with these characters, which is stupid. Like, that's stupid. Stop doing it. But but rather things like, we are making a deliberate design choice that is very obviously not of the period in a way that lets you know that there is an element of fantasy to this artistic work rather than attempting to 100% accurately depict what happened. We are playing with things here, you know? I think that, like, the Marie Antoinette movie also does this very well. Like, there are definitely some costuming inaccuracy, but it's just playing up sort of the ridiculous lavishness and that kind of thing, of being, you know, a very important person in France at the time. And that is a design choice. But one of the things that really bothered me about what I've seen about Wuthering Heights, and this is just like because it isn't an interesting design choice, it is a tired cliche. And that is that one, like, shot that they show of Margot Robbie having someone, like, super hard yank on the lacings of her stays or corset, whatever they're supposed to be, and she's not wearing anything underneath them. Number one, like, most people did not lace up their stays or corsets that tightly. They would lace them up to a comfortable position such that they could, like, walk and move around. And generally, you know, like, stays or corset or whatever were as comfortable as just, like, wearing a well-fitted bra is these days, right? Like, it's not that different. So there's that, but also, like, they were never worn against bare skin. You would have your base layer, like a shift or chemise, so basically just like a very plain linen sort of short dress, effectively, underneath them. Partially because a linen shift, way easier to clean than a corset. You can't just put a corset through the kind of beating that, like, the laundry goes through. That is a garment that you get, like, spot cleaned on the bits that are likely to get sweaty. You know what I mean? Because it's a very difficult to make garment. It's a more expensive garment. It's a garment you have significantly fewer of. And it's a garment that you want to last a really long time. And surviving going through the laundry every day is not plausible for something like stays or a corset. You don't wear it against your bare skin. You all probably know this already. Because I've probably yelled about it before. But I just... Also, people, the fact that, people made complaints about the casting of the principal characters, specifically because the character of Heathcliff is often read as, like, being not like a white dude. And they cast a white dude, and obviously, like, historically, a bunch of productions have cast white dudes, but it's like, okay, just because that's the case doesn't mean you need to repeat that. Like, you can do better now. You can just do better now. Like, that's fine. But the casting director was, like, basically literally said something along the lines and tone of, it's a made-up story, so we don't have to be accurate. It's not a big deal. It's not that deep. And it's like, okay. I just have zero faith in this production being any good at this point. Also, it's from the director of Saltburn, so I expect it's probably gonna be gross. I expect it's probably gonna be gross. I haven't seen Saltburn, but the things I know about Saltburn are like, wow, well, you've managed to make, you know, like, sexy things unappealing as possible, so good job. Though I think the idea is that it's unappealing, but still, not for me. Anyways, I think I saw the trailer for Saltburn and I was like, And there was like one shot of it, and I was like, is that Oxford? I live there. And I was slightly intrigued by like potentially seeing the film at that point, because I was like, you know, I like seeing things that are shot on location in the city I live in, because I can point to buildings and be like, that this is unrealistic. Where are all the language students congregated outside that bus stop? And that building isn't around the corner from that other building. They absolutely cheated with that. Har har, hilarious. I love it. Anyways, anywho, I'm gonna attempt to draw this character again. I'm making her a little bit taller, but I think her head is about the same size as her girlfriend there, so I think it's fine. Or her wife. I don't know. Are they married? I don't know yet. I don't know I don't quite know who these people are at this point, but we'll figure it out. I think she's wearing her hair up in a little bun. It just kind of it does look like just a. To be honest, it's hard to tell it from this whether or not it's a bun or a tam, but hopefully you'll be able to tell based on like the color of it that it's a bun and not a tam. Uh-oh. Anyways. Give her a little neck. And maybe actually bring her hair down a little bit more so it looks less like a tam and more like a bun. Okay. And doop-a-doop. I did not make her tall enough for this. I made her too tall for the hill still. I was like, oh, this is really... No, I think I made her head too big and then the rest of her body was too small. So I have to... redraw her. No, she was doing so well. Her hair that looks like a hat is all gone. Oh no. Anyways. Maybe she should be wearing a tam. I don't know. Is that historically accurate? Nothing in this picture is historically accurate. It could very well be set in a fantasy land that doesn't exist in real life. So, like, whatever, it's fine. How tall is she? She's about a finger width, so maybe the top of her head needs to start about here, I guess. About there. We'll try that. Is that big enough? I feel like that's slightly too small. Okay, we're about to run into ads. Oh no. We'll come back to this right after the break. You're not going to miss anything because I'm going to stick on the BRB screen. So I'll be back very, very shortly. Please enjoy the BRB screen in the meantime. I'm sorry if you have to see ads. BRB. Okay, I'm back, kind of. We're in the middle of an ad break, but we just got a raid. So whilst the break is running, I shall welcome in the raiders. I'm so sorry if any of you got bumped into ads. I really, truly am. There's nothing I can do about it, unfortunately, but hello, and thank you so much for the raid. I do appreciate it. What were you up to today? Hello, Sasaf. Hello, Gabe Vertebrae. Hello. It's lovely to see you. And I do apologize if any of you are seeing ads right now. Thank you so much for the follow, Gabe Vertebrae, as well. Welcome in. Hello. Hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. How was your stream? I hope you are well. And as always, if you do have anything you'd like to share with the class, like you've got some artwork or anything that you'd like to share, you can whisper a link in my direction. I'd be very, very happy to do so. But again, apologies that we are in BRB screen mode at the moment. But hey, I was working on some personal art. Nice. I shall begin to introduce myself. Hello. My name is Twitch user Sammy Kelch. I'm a variety streamer. I do cozy art streams on Mondays and most Thursdays. I do cozy game streams on Fridays. Every once in a while on a Thursday if I'm feeling extra crispy, which I might be fairly soon, I think, because it's been a wee while. I was going to paint with a new paint palette that I manufactured on my last stream. I don't think we're going to get around to painting today because I haven't finished the sketch. Sasaf says, I shall grab art tags. No links in chat, but message it to you. Did I get that right? Yes, please. Send me a whisper. I have links disabled, and I don't know how to enable individual ones because we were getting a raft of spam for a while, and I know as soon as I change that, I'll get a raft of spam again. So just for safety's sake, I just have them off for now. But yes, we would love to share with the class. I'm a primarily watercolor artist, but sometimes I do other art media as well, like inks or relief printing, that kind of thing. And you will get to see what I'm working on right now in just a second, as soon as I'm 100% sure that the ads are done. And I'm gonna get a little shout out for Sasam in the chat. There we go. Yay! Okay, the break is done. We can go back. Hello. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I have this palette of colors, which I have named my Frog and Toad palette. To be honest, if you see them in isolation, it looks like a fairly vibrant rainbow. And actually, the colors read more vibrant on camera than they do in real life. But just to compare and contrast, this was the rainbow of paint colors that I started with. And here's what they blended out to. So definitely a little bit more muted. Every color here has been combined with an amount of raw umber to make it nice and brownish. This was the progression of our color mixes until I arrived at a rainbow, and then I felt like a Frog and Toady kind of vibe, which I've really been enjoying the Frog and Toad vibes lately. So I wanted to do something that felt like it matched that vibe color-wise. And that's what we ended up with. Love a good Frog and Toad palette, says Sasaf. Hell yeah. Entirely fair. Thank you for the shout out. Hell yeah. I'm so sorry that we were stuck on the extremely outdated and I really need to paint a new one BRB screen when you came in. But yes. Anywho, welcome into all of the lovely new people. We have a link from Sasaf, so I'm gonna go cue that up on my looking at things screen, if I can. Ooh, this is fun. Okay, hold up. First of all, my nose is optional. It was pointed out that I look like a reindeer, so I had to do it. Anyways, but I did realize that it made me look like Molly from the Big Comfy Couch. So here she is for comparison. Anyways, I still love that you have a traditionally drawn PNG tuber, says Sassam. Oh, thank you so much. You're the only streamer I've encountered that's done. Really? I had no idea. Thank you. Gay Vertebrae says, I love your PNG tuber. I was trying to figure out how to make one as a traditional artist, and this gave me some inspo. Just how you left the face blank and did digital eyes and mouth. Yeah, literally all I did. So, if I can give you a very brief introduction to how I did the PNG tuber, I effectively drew... Okay, here's me. Here's my antlers. This is actually my secondary PNG tuber, because I've also got me that's just me dressed as a pirate. Oh, you can't... Hold on. You can't see it. Hold up. Okay. So, here's me with my antlers. So I just drew, like, myself. Here's, sort of my lumpy body. There we go. And then separately, I just drew... Just a floating set of closed eyes, and then an open mouth. There we go. And just made separate like PNG layers of these, overlaid it in Photoshop onto the original painting, and then just made separate frames of just me at rest with my eyes open. And then me with my mouth closed but blinking, me with my mouth open but and eyes open, and me with my mouth open but blinking. Yeah, it took, I don't know, like an hour maybe to do the animation stuff. So it's a very simple PNG tuber. It's about 4 frames. But yeah, that's how it was done. So there's that. Anyways, but we want to see Sasav's artwork. So let me pop back to that screen so we can have a little look. See, once again, that's Molly from the Big Comfy Couch because she looks exactly like me. This is what Sasav sent me, and oh my goodness, I love how this is looking. The glowiness is incredible. I love your colors that you've done here, and the like. My wording is bad. But, like, the texture of the colors looks really, really, really good. And I love the sort of weird glow that's happening here. This is very cool, and I love it a lot. And I thank you so much for sharing, because that's rad as heck. Yes! Sasav's work is amazing. Hell yeah. This is very, very good. Gay Vertebrae says, trying to do this might be my next art project after my current one. Do it. Do it! I've been putting off making one because it felt like a crazy big task. Do it! I wholeheartedly recommend it. It's really fun. But yeah, Sasav, this is stunning. Thank you so much for sharing again. Thank you, thank you. I would share what my artwork looks like, but, well, it looks like this. Anyways, Sasav says, we're trying out digital painting again for the first time in ages. Wow! You're doing amazing! Digital art is wizardry to me. I do not understand it. My brain is bad at it. And I am very impressed with people who can get results like that doing digital. It's amazing. Genuinely. Let me get another shout out for you in the chat. And thank you again for the raid. I do appreciate it. Come on. Here we go. Because I can do 2 different flavors of shout out, so I will. There we go. I can't remember if I introduced myself. Hopefully I did. Hi everyone. So today I was going to attempt to test out my new palette of paints, but I didn't really have a super good sketch to begin with. The only thing that I have sketched out really at the moment, and I didn't have time between last stream and this stream to draw anything because my life has been... and it's going to continue to be until at least Friday. So, anyways, but I do have this one sketch of Star Trek. But that felt too niche to do on stream. Because I'm very aware of the fact that this is a 30-year-old TV show. And a lot of people haven't seen it and don't understand just how precious these 2 little boys are. Normally the kid characters on a TV show aren't my favorite. But listen, when I tell you that, like, even in season 1, they managed to make Jake and Nog little boys, but not annoying about it. Very special to me. Anyways. Well, thank you, says Sasav. Of course. It's really just oil painting, but you can paint the values and colors separately. Again, wizardry. Also, I'm also not very good at oil painting. I've only done, like, 4 oil paintings, maybe? Maybe four oil paintings. Also such a mood. Life equals and yeah. Honestly, yeah. My week is nuts. I knew my week was going to be nuts this week, and then I found out this morning that my week is going to be an extra layer of nuts because I have another appointment on I'm busy all Thursday morning, and then I have another thing like 2 hours later on Thursday afternoon that I'm not looking forward to. And I have to prepare stuff in advance of that. And I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. And that's because I'm having symptoms that are interrupting my life. Tal says, Nog and Jake? Yes. They're going fishing. They're going fishing in a picturesque hollow location. Nog is reading a book. They're just having a nice relaxing time being little scamps. Doing little scamp activities. Hijinks, shenanigans, tomfoolery. Anyways, Sasa says, oh, Lord, that's a lot of life occurring. And then today would normally be a day where I'm just at home, like, working on things and getting stuff done and sort of slowly rolling into my week. But no, I had a social engagement. I had a 3-course lunch to go to today, which I'm not complaining about because it was nice. It was nice to get to do social with the people I got to do social with, and it was nice to be served a 3-course lunch, which was delicious in a very pretty location. But with that being said, knocked me out for the rest of the day. I came home and I came home at about 3:30 and I was just like, I can't nap because I need to do stuff. But I wish I could nap before stream. So I'm very sleepy. Is my point. But still, it's fine. Happy to be streaming. How shall I do this? I think, you know, what if she's also wearing a hat, but it's like a bigger hat. It's a much bigger hat. I love that for her. I think that's delightful. And then she's got sort of just a little braid, a little plaited hairdo coming down the front. There we go. Sorry, got real quiet because I'm attempting to draw. Both of this lady's feet are just off the ground, because why not? I think that's fun. Anyways, Gay Vertebrae says, I have to head to an appointment, but I'll for sure pop into one of your streams in the future. Nice to meet you. Have fun doing art. Thank you so very much indeed. Maybe next time I'll actually have a sketch prepared that I'll be able to paint while streaming. Who knows? Who knows? Anything's possible. Anyways. Oh, beans. I'm running out of beverages. This is bad. I should have made a third backup beverage while I was on my first break, but I forgot to do it. I even took out a tea bag with the intention of sticking the kettle on and making a peppermint tea like 2 hours ago, and I just fully forgot to do it. So, oh no. Beans! Happy Monday to you too. I hope you're having the loveliest of lovely Mondays. How are you? Welcome in. Hope you are well. I am drawing a couple of little 18th century adventure-y ladies in puffy shirts being well, I feel like you can extrapolate that they're gay because it's me. Anyways, again, what an absolute mood, says stuff. I know, right? I have really good news today, says Bees. Hell yeah, my rheumatologist has declared my arthritis in remission. Yay! Yippee! Congratulations! That's awesome! That's awesome. I love that for you. That's wonderful. Yay! Okay. Puffy sleeves again. Doot doot doot. She's a sprinting. She's sprinting real good here. Getting her sprint on. Okay. Can I maybe just get this arm sort of really pull this arm back a little like that so it looks less weird. I mean, this is just generally going to look weird, I feel like, but whatever. So it goes. Oh, there we go. Okay, so they're running. I don't know what they're running for, but they're doing a run. My moderator slash spouse has just come home. Hooray! So I'm gonna go quickly say hi to him. I'll be back in a second, everybody. Oh my goodness! Hi, baby. Welcome home. Hi. That I'm very tired too. I was like nodding off on the bus, I swear. Get loved. Get absolutely adored. Thank you so much. Okay, wait. Okay. I love you. Okay, I'm back. Hi. Sorry about that. Alright, we've got our two... I don't know what they're running for. I feel like they're just off on an adventure. Sasav must lurk. I look forward to seeing the shenanigans of these ladies. Thank you very much and have a lovely lurk. Thank you again for the raid. I very much appreciate being entrusted with your wonderful community of peoples. Thank you, thank you. Anyways, and I'm very sorry for my coughs. I'm trying to keep them to a minimum, but they seem to want to do it anyways. But how about I pop a little cottage on this hill? Because that is a thing that I like to do. Okay. Here we go. Alright. So maybe that's the front of it, and then that's the back of it. Does that... No. Hold up. Trying to make house shape correct. But also make house the right size that I want it to be and all that. Just normally I spare y'all the very back and forth, like, erase, redraw, erase, redraw, erase, redraw of the sketch process. But like I said, I haven't had the brain power to, like, think of anything good to draw for many days. Not to mention time. I did do some painting over the weekend, but it was for a project that I cannot reveal the project yet. I think if I show you this much, it doesn't feel like a spoiler. There you go. You can see that I watercolored some landscape, and that's all I can give you. But you'll see that eventually. I'll probably stick that up on my imprint, if nothing else. Oh, by the way, I have a shop where you can get stuff from me, by the way. Sorry to shill. But this stream was brought to you by me and the things I make. So that's your sponsored segment. I have a shop. Honestly, I know it's sale season and everyone is yelling at you to buy stuff, but not necessarily me, just so we're clear. But if you are going to spend money on things, I recommend spending money on, like, small artists and people who make and sell things and generally don't have billions and billions of pounds and are horrible and, you know, that kind of thing. Obviously, there are certain purchases that just need to be made and you can't really just sort of buy independently, and that I understand that, like, I do too. But if you're like, ooh, I want to get someone something cute and nice, you know, maybe consider, like, I don't know, does an artist that you like on Instagram sell, like, bookmarks or, like, washi tape or something like that? That'd be a nice gift. Aw, man, I love when artists do their own washi tape designs. I think that'd be such a fun thing to do. Just for clarity, I do not sell washi tape. It's just a thing that I think would be neat that you could buy from someone. I know a few artists who've like, designed washi tape, and it's really fun. I have, like, stickers. And I just bought a Tesla. Did I do it wrong? I hate to break it to you, Dan, but why would you do that? Oh, heck, the capitalist is back, says Dan. No. You know, it's one of those things. It's like that old Matt Boers comic where they have someone say that they have that guy that, like, you know, oh, I got you, guy. For someone is saying, like, we should probably improve society somewhat, and then this dude pops up and he's like, and yet you choose to live in society, what about that? And it's like, that's not, like, no, you can't, just because you think that, you know, you might think that, like, hey, the economic system that we live in is clearly disadvantaging a lot more people than it, like, gives genuine, like, privilege and advantage to, in ways that are becoming, like, an increasing disparity between these two extremes. Maybe that's something that we should look at aiming to remedy a bit, but thinking this doesn't mean you can exempt yourself from existing within society. So, yeah, You know, it's like, oh, but you're a terrible capitalist for selling your artwork. You should just want it to be available for free. And I'm like, listen, if we lived in a world where money didn't need to exist, that would be super great. But unfortunately, I can't create art if I'm dead because I've starved and frozen to death out in the cold with nothing. So, tough biscuits. I'm gonna sell my artwork. Also, I'm gonna be real. For me personally, I price things and I sell items that are as inexpensive as I possibly can because I want people who don't have a ton of money to be able to have cute, nice things. So, like, it's a couple quid for a sticker. That might be as much indulgence as some people can afford. But, like, they should be able to have access to that then. You know what I mean? You know, like, art shouldn't be, like, art from an independent artist who made a thing shouldn't be limited to, like, this is an original painting that if I'm going to charge myself an acceptable hourly rate for the amount of labor I put into it, plus the cost of materials is going to cost you, like, £2,000. Also, I tend not to sell originals of my work because the amount of, even if I'm doing it off stream, I think it probably took me about 3 hours to do, for instance, this piece. If I were to charge myself what I consider to be an acceptable hourly rate for that level of skilled work, that's expensive for a thing that's the size of a postcard. No one wants to spend that kind of money on. And this is a fairly uncomplicated landscape as well. If we're getting into the territory of something with a whole bunch of, like, bookshelves and stuff on it, we're getting into the many, many, many hours of labor. I can't ask people to spend that kind of money, but I can suggest that they could conceivably buy a print for £6. You know? So, yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for the follow, too. The name disappeared before I could see. Soon Pizza! Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome in. Hello. Selling your art is not capitalism, says Samantha. Hi capitalism. Hi, Samantha. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Exchanging money is not capitalism. Yeah. Barter your artwork for chickens and dental work. Oh man. If I could just give an original watercolor to my dentist's office and have my crown finished, that would be amazing. Instead, I've got a crown happening next month, and then in January, I'm applying for citizenship. Between the two, we're looking at probably about £2,400. Not including having to buy a British passport as well, which is probably another couple hundred quid. Jesus, Murphy, I'm gonna be an insane amount of credit card debt until the day I die. This is so much money. Scary. I don't like it. Anyways. Dan says, oh, you dislike capitalism, but what's that I see in your wallet? About 12 bus tickets I keep meaning to throw away because they're out of date. And a stamp card from a coffee shop I'm probably never going to visit again because it was in Amsterdam. And a couple of my business cards. I don't actually have any money in my wallet. Anyways, Samantha says, capitalism is about the accumulation and control of resources, capital, and leveraging that to acquire more. The fact that they divorce people from the profits of their own labors, and artists selling their own art is never that. That is true. That is true. I am making my artwork. Bean says, I see loads of artists charging $150 and up for original watercolor works, and that is bananas to me, a watercolor artist, so I only give stuff away if it's a hobbyist. I would die if I tried to be a professional. I do commissions. And I do try and price my commissions in probably a vastly underpricing kind of way in the grand scheme of things. But I also would like those to be accessible to people. But I'm also aware of the fact that I don't want to undervalue my skill as an artist that I have honed over many years, as you can tell by these extremely professional sketches. Anyways. Nice to meet you too, Suna Pizza. Nice to meet you. I hope I'm not absolutely horribly mangling the pronunciation of your name. But hello. Imposter syndrome is so hard, says Bees. It's the worst. It's the worst. I once saw an article that was like, it was a joke article, but it was like, quiz, are you even good enough to have imposter syndrome? And I'm like, I know this is like a piss take article, but honestly, I don't think I am good enough to have imposter syndrome. What? What just happened?
Oh hell yeah, Achromatic Kitten just subscribed.
Thank you very much for the hype train. Samantha, what did you just do? The capitalism death. No!
Oh
Also,
hell yeah,
you.
Void_912 just subscribed.
Also, you're gonna hear this song several times now, so I hope you enjoy it. But Samantha, thank you so much for the gift subs! Oh my goodness! Thank you.
Oh hell yeah, Shasta Daisy just subscribed.
I'm just gonna shut up while this happens.
Oh hell yeah, Gay Vertebrae just subscribed. Oh hell yeah, Scrappy Jane just subscribed.
Oh no! Oh my goodness.
Oh hell yeah, Leaf Shino just subscribed. Oh hell yeah, SB Galaxies just subscribed. Oh hell yeah, Tiles_Anow just subscribed.
I don't know if I should set it to not sing every time.
Oh hell yeah, Nixtria just subscribed.
But on the other hand, I'm very proud of this animation. As you can see, I put a lot of work into it.
Oh hell yeah, Belgarath101 just subscribed.
Never end. No!
Oh hell yeah, Dan and Milo just subscribed.
Okay. I'm gonna start.
Oh hell yeah, Aggie called Samuel just subscribed.
Right, so, Samantha, thank you for gifting subs to Achromatic Kitten, Scrappy, Hysteria, and... Chat,
Oh hell
chat
yeah,
has gone
Curse
for
Jar of Bees just subscribed.
And Shasta, and Leaf Shino, and Void912, and Gay Vertebrae, and Tals and Belgareth!
Oh hell yeah, Wanker just subscribed.
And thank you for gifting us a gift sub to Dan as well. Samuel, thank you so much for the Prime sub. That's so incredibly sweet. And Samantha, thank you for gifting a sub to Curse Jar of Bees. And Anonymous Friend gifted a sub. Anonymous, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Wanker. What a username.
Domo.
Honestly, reading that, like, hearing Nicole read that out almost broke me. Thank you so much for the Doma, Charles. Thank you very much indeed. They said me twice instead. No! Oh. Feeling a little...
Oh hell yeah, Little Birdie just subscribed.
Thank you for gifting us up to Little Birdie, Samantha. That's very, very sweet. Samuel, thank you very much for the Shaw. And Little Birdie, thank you for the other Shaw. Thank you very much indeed. I have no regrets drawing Uwu Hornet. I just wanted to see what she'd look like with a little Uwu smile. But oh my goodness, y'all, thank you very much indeed for the subs and the silliness and the stickies. What are you doing? What are you doing? What to do with you? What? No!
Oh hell yeah, Splash Inkling just subscribed.
Samuel, thank you so very very much for gifting us up to Splash Inkling. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's very, very, very sweet. Y'all, level 5 hype train. What have I done to deserve such kindness? I feel like I have done not enough to deserve this kindness. You're making me emotion. All I did today was draw 3 humps and two little sapphic 18th century milkmaids off on a little adventure from their little farmhouse. Feel our capitalistic love. Y'all, I am feeling the love in this Chili's tonight. Thank you. Little birdie! What are you doing? Heck!
Oh hell yeah, Riomeo03 just subscribed.
Little birdie, thank you very much for gifting us up to Riomeo. Thank you. Sorry, Mule, thank you so much, and have a lovely lurk. Little birdie says I want to play too. Oh, Beans. Well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Samantha says, Sammy, I feel like the word sapphic in there is plenty enough to justify kindness from me. Ah, Beans. Beans. Oh, Samantha, this is not my artwork, but have I shown these on stream yet? I acquired something stupid recently, and I think a small number of people might appreciate them. I'll be back in just a second. Ahem. Hello. They ain't sapphic, but they are Star Trek. I don't think I've shown you guys these. I got them in the post a little while back. And they're very special to me. And I thought you might appreciate them. So there they are. Anyways. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. Anywho. That's that. And thank you very much. Oh my god, Space Boyfriend, so freaking cute little guys. Yeah. I need to knit them some little cardigans to keep them warm in the winter. I do not think I've seen those Space Boyfriends. Surely you've seen Star Trek TNG. So you're familiar with who they is. Anywho. So yeah, that's that. My brain has sublimated into like just gas and has steamed out my ears. So thank you for that. I have no brain cells remaining. Thanks to your incredible kindness and generosity. So thank you for that. I'm gonna try and just draw a stupid little cottage here. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. There we go. There. Okay. It is the foundations of a cottage. I did it. I'm very familiar with the second best pair of boyfriends in TNG. Right after, I'm gonna make an educated guess as to what the first pair is. And it's Riker and the chairs he sits on in increasingly creative ways. Yep. That's the one. Anyways. But yeah, I love them. I think they're very sweet. They can recite poems about Spot the cat. Tal says I was gonna say Riker in his chair. Hell yeah. I feel like one of the real things that I think they really missed an opportunity with in TNG was just giving Riker more of an opportunity to be like obviously bi. They could have leaned into that more than they did. But yeah, anyways, I have thoughts and opinions, and most of them are just like, I always felt like they could have just made things be a little bit more gay. Ooh, I got a hype chest. That's what's my treasure. Oh, get a load of this treasure. Choo choo. Post please. Why are you chat? Why are you broken? There we go. Choo choo. Oh, that is a very cute little emote. It looks so nervous. Even Jonathan Frakes wanted Riker to be more bi, right? Right? He's on our side. He gets it. Anyways, thank you so much for the hype train, y'all. You are far too kind. Far too kind. We are not going to get any painting done today, and I'm really sorry. Little Birdie says, I too have leaked all my brain from my ears, but I went to a new medical provider today who I feel extremely optimistic about, so I'm okay with it. Hell yeah, I love that for you. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Very exciting. I hope that things go well. I hope that they are, that you get, like, the support and care, that will be helpful and good for you. Hell yeah. Samantha says, also, I am only not taking back some of the kindness because I know you were doing a goof at that Riker thing because you know who my number one Star Trek boyfriends are. I do. And what's the name of the episode where they're in, like, a flashback of, like, what would have happened if my life went different because of that fight that I got in a bar when I was a student? And then I'm sorry for anyone who hasn't seen Star Trek The Next Generation, but Captain Picard wakes up in the morning, and then he rolls over, and there's Q, who's just like, morning, sweetheart. And then Captain Picard just, like, pulls the bed sheets up over him like he's all shy. It's so funny. Tapestry, that's the one. That's the one. It's like the It's a Wonderful Life, except what if I hadn't had, like, a near-death experience? Anyways, Little Birdie says, thank you there. Trained in an area I've been chasing down for a while. That's so good. That's so positive, and I'm so happy for you. Hell yeah. I'm seeing the doctor tomorrow about something, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. That they don't just send me away with, like, steroid cream. But we'll see. I hope they send me away with, here's some blood tests. We promise we're not going to just check your cholesterol again. Anyways. Samantha said a swear, so I'm not going to read out her comment, but I wholeheartedly agree. If someone did little plushies of them, I would like to get them too. I'm wafting some of my good luck your way, says Little Birdie. Oh, but hang on to as much of it as you can for yourself as well, please. Speaking of characters who are very good friends, I do also have these guys who are very special to me. I think I posted these guys on Blue Sky because they spend a lot of time smooching. Anyways, but TOS, fellas. Let's keep it PG. Anyways, yeah, I like Star Trek a normal amount. I don't know if you knew this about me, but I do, actually. What would a little cottage look like in this period of time that I'm sort of fantastically... also space boyfriend, says Samantha. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yep. You know I am in agreeance about that. Okay, a little door, and some little rooftop. There we go. Maybe I'm gonna stick a little chimney over here this time. And I'll probably have some little just sort of like plumes of wood smoke coming out of the chimney for funsies. There we go. Maybe some side windows here so they can see the world. And also like a little window up in the loft here. There we go. Is that a cute little, does that look like a cozy cottage? Isn't your stream tagged 18+? I think we're allowed to swear too. I mean, that's true. That's true, but also exclamation mark language because it's funny. But I do sometimes say a swear. I don't know why I try and keep it to a minimum. It's something that I started and, like, I do not maintain in my real life, so, like, who cares? But, here we are. Anyways, The lighting keeps going, like, very washed out, so it's hard to see, but I have drawn a little cottage on the hill here. And I feel like there wants to be... Okay, first of all, there should be a little path leading from the cottage sort of down the hill. Like so. Like so. Is that a little bit... Can we have that be a little bit... Can I curve that a little bit more pleasingly, perchance? Perhaps. Did I make the door too big? I don't know. Maybe if I sort of curve it off to one side. Thus, it's still going. I don't know. It looks weird. I'm just gonna not have a pathway leading from the thing because I can't get it to look not weird. Gasp! Christmas, Sammy. They let you play their reindeer games this morning. Yeah. They did indeed. We ran we ran a poll earlier. To determine whether or not this was a reindeer nose or a clown nose, because I'm just like, I feel like I also just have clown vibes, so I don't know if this is clown or reindeer, and we can, the result was overwhelmingly reindeer, I believe, so, thank you to everyone who concluded that I was a reindeer, not a clown. I do appreciate it, making me feel slightly better about myself, for sure, but I mean, also, clowns are cool, but, yeah, anywho. What was I gonna say? Well, first of all, my throat is, like, stopping working. So that's fun. And I did not get any painting done today, which I feel a little bad about. But here we are. But do I want to put... I kind of want to have, like... a little... I kind of want to have a little, like, veggie patch. Just sort of beside the house here. Maybe. And then also maybe I think would be cute is just a little, like... little clothesline. With some little shifts. Little shifts and shirts hanging from it. I think maybe that's cute. I don't know, maybe some, like, sheets or something hanging here. I think I need to widen it slightly. But yeah, I decided this was the vibe I was feeling today, so I decided to change up my PNG tuber to be a little either a clown or a reindeer, depending on your mood. And I hope that that's fine. Yes. Okay, we've got some little doot. We've got some little doots. That's not the words I was looking for. We've got some little doots on this clothesline here. That's cute, I think. And we've got a little veggie patch here, which I'll paint in, I guess. But I think I'm gonna call it there because it's soup time. I gotta go make soup, y'all. I'm sorry I didn't do any painting today. I guess we're painting this on Thursday. Hooray! I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for hanging out with me and listening to me ramble and rant and tell me cool things. And be very kind and hype train me. And thank you to everybody who rated. And it's just been a really nice day. Thank you so much for being nice to me. I don't know how to respond to people being nice to me, but I'm very appreciative of you all. You're wonderful people, and it's so nice to have such nice people to hang out with while I do artwork. Even when I do not very much of it. But thank you. I'm gonna see if there's anyone we can do a little raid on, so we can go share the love with some other cool people. And see... Who have I not raided in a while? Who could we go say hi to? That kind of thing. I'm gonna check and make sure that this person isn't just about to finish, because I don't like to try... I like to try not to raid people who are just about to finish. So let me just make sure that they're not very obviously just finishing, because that would be silly. Oh, they're in the middle of something that's really cool. So hell yeah, let's go raid Carson, who's nice and does really nice artwork. Man, I do not have an impressive whip to share today, but oh well. Here's a generic raid message in the chat if you'd like to grab the emotes. Feel free to grab the emotes. If you don't have the emotes, you can just say generic raid message. I'm gonna throw in Hornet doing the little pop-ins, because what the hey, we're just popping in. And yeah, if you don't have the emotes, you can just depend on any cool emotes that you do have. It's all good. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It's been very, very fun. Glad we're getting out of here before you have to see another ad break. I'm so sorry for anyone who had to see ad breaks today. I can't disable them. But yeah, I'll be back on Thursday actually painting this, I guess. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Take care, everyone. Good night, and good luck.